Wow. Drake stands are terrible. I used to I'll say this. I used to think Eminem stands were the worst. You know what I mean? Yeah, I used to think like the Eminem stands were the worst. But man, it's between Drake and Eminem stands, these guys are cancerous. I mean, when the Pusha T beef happened, right? Like it was just it like when after Pusha T completely destroyed Drake, and Drake was talking about I had a diss record, but I didn't release it, whole shit, and went on the shop looking like he was about to cry. It's like a year later, and then we would talk. I would talk about the beef, right? I would talk or online, and the Drake stands will say that he won after he got destroyed. I'm like, these guys are mentally ill, bro. These guys are mentally ill. Like, there's a difference between being a fan and man, wow. They will defend this dude. Not even like I understand if girls, it's not even the girls defending him, like it's the dudes. I'm like, what are you talking about? They'll all say the same thing too. They'll be like, "Oh, Pusha T's just using it just to stay relevant," or they'll be like, "Drake doesn't need to address that bum anymore. He never had a career before Drake." And I'm like, these guys got to be 10 years old or 11, 12 years old saying some crazy stuff like that. And they'd be like 21. I'm like, Pusha T is a hip hop legend. Him and his brother, Clips. Y'all don't remember that group, the Clips, with the Neptunes, Pharaoh, all that, like grinding, the music that they made. Pusha T's been famous since the 90s. Him and his brother, they've been famous since the 90s. And by the way, I say Malice, my man, he's known as No Malice now because look, if Malice if Malice wasn't on his religious shit, he would have watched Drake too. I know people get mad at me by just like, oh, you just gonna disrespect a man's religion like that? Look, man, Malice, I thought Malice had a better flow than Push. I thought so. I grew up thinking Malice was better than Push. Right? That was my opinion. I still kind of think that way. Don't sorry, not sorry, but Malice was a master at what he did. I like the way how he rapped. You know, and he had a flow on him. He had flow, man. He like to describe his rapping is almost like it's almost like a sinner's confession. That's how he raps. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to explain it, but I only have limited time, so I'm not gonna go in wax and poetical because I'm here to just talk about the Drake stance. So Pusha T did an interview, and of course they're always gonna ask him about how do you feel about the Drake thing, even though his album is coming out. So it's like they're always gonna ask him about it, and he's gonna be honest. He said he said, I don't even want to deal with that no more. And basically he was speaking in code, but what I took from it was look, Drake would in my translator, my translator, just looking at Pusha T and in the energy that he had. Oh, I hate using that word energy. I've been hanging around too much girls lately. So I don't like that word energy. Anytime you hear like girls be like, vibes, energy, fresh and fit be having me laughing every time they bring that up. He'd be like, anytime it'd be like vibes, energy, namaste, and all this. He'd be like, spirit bomb. Spirit bomb. I need your energy. Spirit bomb. Anyway, but the way he was like that, the translation was basically Drake would be wise not to make an open diss at me, like he did with the two birds, one stone, which I call that this record Two Girls, One Cup because it was due to I said that record is terrible. I'm like, Pusha T for to respond to this. That's the problem. The reason why Drake lost that beef was because I think that Meek thing got to his head because Meek is like a real street rapper. Like he came from the trenches. So the respect that he got for so-called winning, even though I didn't really think he won that one, he was just too Drake is just too popular to beef with. So you have to destroy him where the masses can see it. And it's either like, wow, he's just destroyed him, or you're gonna be in denial like the Drake stands. So that got to his head. And really, with the Pusha T thing, that thing's been going on for a minute. Drake had been dropping subliminals on that nigga for a minute, even though he did a track with his brother Malice back in the day. That's a whole nother story. People now a lot of people know about that. Yeah, it was on. I think it was on his mixtape too, on Drake's mixtape back in the day. And he even they had like an interview of him talking about he tried to buy like a microphone off the clips, and then he'll be like in the interview, be like, I don't know them. Oh shit, man. Anyway, but yeah, like he wanted Drake wanted the respect for taking down Pusha T. Like if Drake, like in an alternate universe, which would never happen in any universe, but in opposite land, if Drake were to destroy Pusha T, you know, um, with a rap diss, he would have gotten the respect he would have gotten for taking out Push would have been Jay-Z level type where he would really Drake would really get that Jake because he did not only does he because he already has that superstar status just pop wise. If he were to get that same status Jay-Z, like then he would get like Jay-Z status rap wise. You know what I'm saying? Now rise, people are not even that's just only the stands look at him like this genius. Real rap fans know he's a pop star. Drake said so himself. So it is what it is. Call me a hater. He literally said that himself in that song that he dropped with Justin Bieber, I think. He literally said he was a pop star, but which I've been saying for years. But I'm a hater. Anyways, that's what it was. He just wanted the respect that came with with Pusha T, but he didn't understand when Pusha dropped that I forgot what the song what it was. It's not registering to me. Let me do a quick Google on that because he had dropped something. I forgot what it was called off the top. It was I forgot what the it was basically it was a warm up disc. Well, no. When Pusha T had dropped that track, whatever, uh before Drake had dropped his response track, the first one. I forgot what it was. I forgot what that one was called. But what Drake didn't understand, that was bait. Like I was like, yo, Drake should not respond to this because it was just out of the blue. Pusha T just dropped the track, uh, like like right before his album. And I'm like, yo, Drake, do not take the bait. This is something that Pusha T has been preparing. And on the cusp of his album, ooh, I'm like, Drake, do not respond. He got dirt on you. I know bait when I see it, bro. Because people take advantage of try to take advantage of me all the time. They'll try to mention something like they'll know that I'll get mad at it, and they'll put it almost like with that Abba and Preach thing when they made that video on Fresh and Fit about paying for pussy and all that nonsense. I can't believe these guys' beef started for arguing about whether or not it's wrong to pay for box. This is ridiculous. Anyways, I know like that was bait. That was bait. What's his name? Myron took the bait. Abba and them and his crew of people not destroyed him, but definitely hurt their brand. You know what I'm saying? That's like when I'd be like because when I first saw the video from Album Preach, I'm like, they're a little bit too. This look like a diss track. Even a bit, I was like, okay, Drake didn't. I'm like, do not take this bait. Pusha T got dirt on you, bruh. Don't do it. But Drake came out with that awful diss track, the audacity, the. I was like, oh Lord. I was like this. I'm like, man. I'm sitting there like this after the track. I'm like, Pusha T finna come out with the most fire track. Then I see the cover of the blackface of Drake in blackface. I'm like, oh, where did he get this picture from? And then drops that bombshell about his son. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, really psychoanalyzed him, comparing him to his father, how he's becoming the father that he complains about in his tracks, and how you're really how he tried to clean up the porn star that he knocked up. Man, that he just completely destroyed him in that track in the story that added on. So much so, the original video, what people don't even know, the original video had like 34 million views in like 2 or 3, 4 weeks. And then they had YouTube took it down. I was like, damn, Drake is juiced up. Drake got juice in the game. I didn't know that. They got that video taken down. And basically any other channel that decides to put that and then there was one other channel that has the most views now with 6 million views or something around that mark. They're basically trying to erase the diss from history. That's how juiced up in the game Drake is. That's why I say Drake is a fraud, because clearly he's a plant. To have that kind of influence where you think you just take the diss track off, act like it don't exist. Wow. Wow. Anyway, so now anybody that even posts the story of Adidon, there's a hip hop channel on YouTube that got demonetized because they posted that track. So his channel is forever demonetized just because of that one video. They said if you post that video, basically they said like he said my channel is demonetized now because of that, just because of that video. That's dude, that's whole shit, bruh. I'm sorry, I can't even respect Drake. Like it was like like for me, I always said in like my other videos, in one of my older videos, I said like, you know, when I started learning about how the industry goes, it started to be hard for me to respect guys like Jay-Z or to respect guys like the game or who else? Who's another popular rapper? Eminem. Um, you know, well, not necessarily Eminem, his stands, but oh, who else? I said Jay-Z, and then yeah, Drake. And like, guys like those popular guys, Rick Ross, you know what I'm saying? Once you start once you start growing up, you just stop listening to their music because it's all. I'm not saying they don't make good music, but it's all a facade. There's nothing to it. You know what I mean? To get those guys, a lot of those times, those guys are users. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard for me to respect it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, respect is, it is what it is. That can be respect can be a bit subjective at times. You know what I mean? So I can't. At the end of the day, I can't blame Jay Z for his moves or what Drake does because they're gonna do what they do. They're more than rappers. I don't even look at Drake as a rapper. I never did. I looked at Drake kind of how I look at like who how can I say this? I look at Drake like how I look at like a Jamie Foxx. Like he's just an overall entertainer because Drake is an actor. Because he came in the game as an actor. Rapping is really his hobby. And honestly, my opinion when it comes to Drake, I say Drake is the greatest actor of this generation. And his best role is playing a rapper, which he's done an amazing job playing. That role of a rapper that he says he is, he's done a great job portraying a rapper. Most of these rappers are actors out here too, but Drake is literally an actor playing a rapper in broad daylight. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, when you play a character, play when you're playing a character for too long, that should start affecting you. You start thinking you that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's kind of how I look at Drake. But yeah, the Drake stands, they're insane. They are insane. Also, just to put a little promo out there, shout out to the guys that been hitting me up about my Party Next Door piano cover. after all this shit I said about Drake and Ovio, I put in my little promo out there of me giving piano tutorials about that shit. Like I said, I'm objective. At the end of the day, I remember like I said in one of my older videos, one of the girls said, "You have piano covers of Janae Aiko and Drake." I'm like, I have a piano cover of SZA too, and all those other people. This is literally my job. Like this is my really my side hustle, but I really like doing this. I really like just playing you know, especially when it comes to the covers, because I think I have a good ear for, harmony and stuff like that, even though I can't sing. But I just like figuring stuff out on a keyboard and making it sound good because, I just like the way I just like the way certain music sounds on the keyboard. I've done song I've you know I did I helped somebody with a Billie Eilish cover. You think I listen to Billie Eilish? First of all, I don't like at least Drake, at least his OVO crew or whatever he's promoting, whatever his brand is. At least there's some artists in there I fuck with. Like Billie Eilish, I don't fuck with her at all. But like I said, hey, can you help me with this Billie Eilish cover? Yeah, sure. Sure. Listen to it, play it out, try to make it sound as beautiful as possible, and see what kind of money I can make out of it, or see if I can perform, some of it. It's nothing personal, but I gotta call it like I see it, bro. You know, you can't, and obviously, I don't think my strategy of doing things is helpful. Is because I'm gonna just tell you, like, if you do things the way I do it, you're gonna be alone a lot of the times, and it's not because you're being noble. It's just because, listen, not everything needs to be said. You know, um, not everything needs to be said, but that's why I'm doing this YouTube thing. This is like my therapy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Corey Holcomb said that he always does his show because it's almost like it's almost his therapy. To say how he feels, and I can respect that. At the end of the day, I can't let I can't let personal shit override some real shit on how I feel on certain shit. And like I said, now regarding to the Eminem stands, yeah, I have a huge problem with Eminem stands only because they'll say that Eminem's the GOAT, which is it's just weird because It wasn't a whole lot of white people messing with rap like that. There was a few. There was a few. It wasn't like a whole lot, you know, until like Eminem came and then all of a sudden he's the GOAT. And it's like, are you sure? And I'll be like, why? I'm like, okay, like if you ask like the average, Eminem fan, Stan, I'll say, they don't even know. Like he'll like Eminem. What I like about Eminem, he'll pay homage to all the people that came before him, and his stands do not know who these people are. I'll say like Big L's better than Eminem. They'll be like, who? I'll be like, I'm like, he literally said these people in his songs too. So clearly you're not listening to the lyrics. And Eminem did say that in one of his lyrics. He said, fuck it, you don't listen to the words anyway. I forgot which song that was. It was on his 2010 album. I forgot what it's called. It's like da 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 doop da da da. Oh man, I forgot what that song is called. It was the song was like, fuck, I got hit by lightning. Fuck, I got hit again or some shit. That was funny. But yeah, it's like they don't know. Like I remember Anthony Mackie had, yeah, Anthony Mackie, the actor. They had asked him. The reporter asked such a convoluted question. He was like, okay, where would you rank Eminem in your top five of all time? And I was like, what? It's like he has to be in your top five. It's almost like how the LeBron stands will come at you. He's got to be top five or it's top 10, whatever. And Anthony was like, well, I have him in my top 10. And people are like, what? What? I'm like, bro, do you know how many rappers there have been in life? Look how many rappers there are right now. I mean, come on, man. And then he started naming all these people, right? He named Andre 3K. He named Rakim, all these people, KRS-One. And these guys got no applause only until he said Tupac. And that's just the one that they know, the fans know. They're like, woo! They don't know who Andre 3K is, even though he's famous as hell with Outkast. I don't know how he was in England. So I think so. I think he was in England when he was doing that. He said, yeah, I think he said Big L. Yeah, he did say Big L. No cheers. They have no idea that Big L might be the best just rhyme in terms of just rhyming. He might just be the best of all time. And really, he's the probably the king of not necessarily freestyle, but he's just the king of like unreleased verses. Like if you just look up like he's the king of the underground, in my opinion, in terms of just the verses that he would have said that he'll be spitting on the radio, just off the top. Man, he was the king. And his first of all, I'm just saying, like in terms of just rhyming, he might be the best rhymer. Like he was insane. I'll say this: Big L is in my top five. To me, he's the underground king. I know people would, they want to bring up the motherfuckers from the South and whatnot. With I think in terms of when we're talking about underground, because Big L was well known, but it wasn't like to me. That's why Jay-Z could never be in my top 10. First of all, he gets help. He gets a lot of help with the pen and his production. You know what I'm saying? So uh, that might be I think Eminem's better than Jay-Z as a rapper. Now they won't say that. That's what I this is my personal opinion. Because from the most part, it looks like Eminem does his own shit. But there's a lot of rappers I think that are better than Eminem. But like my top, like for example, my top five, right? No, I always had Tupac one, Biggie. Like this is talking about me being completely objective about this, not my personal top five. This is just I think this is what I even though it is technically this is my factual opinion, like Bobby Glanton Smith would say. Okay, my factual opinion. Okay, this is me being unbiased. This is what I think the top five rappers of all time are: one, Tupac; two, Biggie; three, Big L; four, Nas; five, Rakim. I think that is the objective top five. If I'm being completely objective, because you already know I got my personal favorites. Because I think Lloyd Banks is my favorite. Hold on for a sec. Lloyd Banks is my favorite rapper of all time, right? Because I think he's the best rapper of all time. A lot of people might disagree, but I think he's the best rapper of all time. I just never heard nobody say the shit that he say. That's just what I think. All right, and I have respect for like guys like Doom, who who really it might be him that is the real king of the underground too, if you really think about him, because not only just rapping wise, but just him making beats, his sample game was on point. So like Doom, I have so much of like my respect for Doom. There would have been none of these niggas that like Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt. There would have been none of them, none of these motherfuckers would be there without Doom. Damn near half of your hip hop beast heads that people like to. It would have been none of that without Doom. That's real talk. So like when it comes to like impact, that's that impact too. That you know, that's what I'm saying. Because the reason why Big L is in my top five, because people want to really big up Jay Z, but when Big L was that nigga, he had Jay Z under him. In that 7-minute freestyle, Jay Z went right after him. People don't even remember that. Jay Z's verse was nice too, but it was nothing in comparison to Big L's verse. That's how like like Jay Z had a verse right after that 7-minute freestyle. If people consider that that's the best freestyle on heard on radio ever, right? But Jay Z had a verse right after. Hey yo, man. That's why to me, like Jay Z could to me can never be in my top 10. People, oh yeah. Like, you know, when people have their top five, it's not like I will disagree. Like when I hear certain names, I say if somebody had their top five of Ice Cube, Rakim, KRS-One, Redman, and then they'll have like Ghostface as my number one. Even though I disagree, but I can't. I like all those names on those lists. I can understand why that's somebody's top five. I can understand that, even though I disagree, but I can't argue that. It's like if somebody's making a Premier League best team of all time, and somebody has Petr Cech as their goalkeeper. Maybe I wouldn't agree that it's Petr Cech, but I can't. I'm not going to argue that with you. That's a legitimate option. You know what I mean? The only time I'm finna argue with you if I see like Gerard in your midfield, or Lampard, because I think those guys are super overrated. Well, mostly Gerard. At least with Lampard, he actually has a case. You know what I mean? But you get the picture. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. Eminem stands are very a lot of yeah. That's the thing with the Eminem stands and the Drake stands. They're very uneducated about hip hop, rap in general. They don't even know the people that started this stuff. Like they just have no respect for it. They have no respect for the people that created it. Same way like today's football fans, if you see a soccer slash football fan start talking shit about how Brazilians were overrated or Pele wasn't, you just it's so disrespectful. And it's like I'm not saying they started it, but a lot of the stuff that you see, the skills that people do is because of Ronaldo. And they'll say, I'm talking about Nazario Lima, the original one. People like to say the fat one. That's disrespectful as hell. If you knew what he went through with that goddamn knee injury that he had, they wouldn't even be talking about stuff like that. Anyway, he was like the first like PlayStation skill dribbler type player that you could use. He was like the first. Then you have Ronaldinho that inspired. You got Barcelona fanboys, bandwagon fanboys talking about Ronaldinho's overrated, and 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 half of these guys, older cousins or fathers, wouldn't even have been a Barcelona fan if it wasn't for Ronaldinho. And these guys talking about these Brazilians are overrated. When you start hearing stuff like that from like the average young fan of whatever, it's like it's hard to take them seriously when they talk. You know what I'm saying? That's just my problem, in general. Okay, I kind of went off the rails there, but that's it. That's it. Too long, too long.